Blue-black ninjas. This deck's been floating around historic. We played against it once or twice, and it looks kind of cute, so we're gonna give it a try. Ornithopter and Changeling Outcast have some neat synergy here. So this is obviously a Thopter, and this is every card type. These both work with Retrofitter's Foundry, which says sacrifice a Thopter, get a 4/4 construct token. It can also kind of rev itself up to grind in the mid to late game, which is interesting, but the kind of base idea is you can Ornithopter on one, as well as Retrofitter Foundry to have a turn 1 4/4. Changeling Outcast is also a ninja, so it works with Ingenious Infiltrator, and it can't be blocked, so it's good for enabling all of our ninjutsu cards. Same with Ornithopter, you know, just 0 mana play with flying, so frequently going to be unblocked, so it enables our ninjas early. And then we just got, you know, disruptive bits, Fatal Pushes, and Thoughtseizes, and Spell Pierce. Hope of Ghirapur is an anti-combo card for a turn, as well as another flying thing that ninjutsu back. So let's pop on into some games with some ninjas this morning and see how it goes. We didn't play it this week, Barshin. We played one alchemy deck this week, but it was a mid-range deck. We played the Wizards of the Coast is not a company that balances their formats quickly. The Jund Storm deck in alchemy was one we played, God, weeks ago probably at this point. I'm gonna look. I'm pretty sure it's been weeks. Alchemy. Jund Arclic is another busted combo deck ruining alchemy. July 17th. So yeah, it's been almost a month since we posted a video with it, and we weren't the first one to post about it. So like, yeah, a month later. So most companies. Yeah, it'll be interesting. One of the things that the Snap team has really impressed me with is how the rate at which they've been doing balance patches has been really nice. Hey. Turn 1 4/4 seems pretty fair for this matchup, all things considered. Definitely don't want to get rid of my 4/4 for a 2/1 here. Block. Alright, good shit. I didn't activate the Foundry there because they're obviously representing collected companies, so I didn't want to put down Make Disappear. So we got a Fatal Push this one then. To cut off their ability to gain a bunch of life here. Hey, Mushroom, thanks for sticking on after your sub gift is done. Welcome back. Our 4/4 is like slowly chipping away at all the life they've gained. The 5th land is still pretty scary here. They're just one away from being able to activate the text on this. Stu, this counter as a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card unless sent to the battlefield this turn. All right. One fatal push, please. Oof. Tapped land. Okay, that doesn't trigger anything this turn. Well, let's pick some cards up here. Do I put this into play off of here, dealing 1 less damage but drawing 1 more card? Maybe I should just pick this one up to start. That's probably the case. Guess I don't have to discard this way, but like, the Thoughtseizes don't matter if I discard them. Yeah, I should have 1 more mana available here. So the problem here is, like, all of my opponent's draws are super good at this point. Like, untapped land is good. Any angel is good. Okay, so I could do this. Well, that particular angel actually doesn't trigger the thing for them, right? Yeah. Like, that particular angel is actually kind of okay for us. I think I'm supposed to Mist-Syndicate Naga the 4/4 here, so I draw extra cards, right? Oh, man. How much life have they gained this turn? They've gained 3 life this turn, right? So I could play 1 more and not have them trigger. We've got to find a second copy of Fatal Push at some point here, right? Okay, so they've gained 2 life this turn, I believe. Right? Because we put this into play and we ninjutsu one. Now this is another one. Is that right? Have they now gained 3? Just check the game log, right? Yeah, this means we're no longer hosed by a land. They've only gained 3 life, right? I can play this Changeling Outcast? Or no? Okay. Ooh, we could turn on Thoughtseize with that. That's true. This is fine though too, right? This has kind of been a wild first game. I'm surprised that we're like slugging through this. We had a couple okay beats on their side for a few turns there, but yeah, Changeling Outcast does a lot in this archetype. Between counting as a ninja, counting as everything for the Foundry, being an unblockable attacker, it just does a lot of what we're interested in doing. Wow, okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess we're winning even if they trigger the other thing next turn, right? Because we're gonna go Outcast, Foundry, and then we'll make 2 more 4/4s. Okay. Yeah, that was kind of a gas first game. Got Spell Pierce here, obviously. We'll bring our sideboard does not have a lot of cards for this matchup. I have two Infernal Grasp on top of our Fatal Pushes in the main. Doesn't really do much. I don't think we can bring in Aether Gust against just Galactic Company. Take away their enabler, right? It also blocks our Infiltrator profitably. Have baffling ended my Ornithopter. Not a play I was expecting, but also one I'm not terribly unhappy with. I did not make any deck building decisions about this deck. Not the untapped black source I wanted for Christmas. Fortunately, this Thalia is about to happen. Artwork Agita is gorgeous. Yeah, it's some kind of bug with YouTube, Tungu. I don't actually put thumbnails on any videos on my main channel. They're always just automatic YouTube grabs from some part of the video, and for some reason YouTube bugged with that one. I experimented with doing thumbnails at one point on the main YouTube channel. It just didn't do anything for metrics, so I stopped bothering. And oh my god, we're about to draw like 40 cards, right? Rounding down. Hey. Tyresis, thanks for dropping off the prime. Welcome back. What's going on, old Barnacle? Almost an old-time sub. Thanks for the 2.5 years. Yeah, okay, so for reference here, chat, these Dorkos trigger on every ninja that connects, and they both trigger on every ninja. So this was the old draw 8. Not bad. All right, impressive first match for our sneaky friends. Game 1 especially was a fantastic slug. What's going on, Sigarin? Thanks for the 28. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. Poda conceded before we could draw 8 cards. The ultimate disrespect. Storm is 3. Morning, Alistair. What other tribal matchups, Gindi? There aren't really other tribal matchups in the format. Elves, goblins, yeah, those aren't really decks. And Crippling Fear isn't even really good against goblins because they just like cast Muxus and kill you. I would agree with you that it's good against elves, but that's not really a deck that I consider while building sideboards in Historic currently. Yeah, of course. Ooh. Ah! Whoa, whoa. Listen, chat. I don't know if this deck is good, but it certainly draws a lot of cards, so if it's not right, then I have no desire to be right, okay? That's all I'm saying. Huh. It feels like kind of a tough one. I feel like it could be anything other than Arclight Phoenix here, obviously. I'm kind of inclined to take Ledger Shredder to kind of stunt their ability to develop their board since we're attacking them a bunch. I could also take Ledger Shredder and then sack Hope of the Ghirapur, right? And just like time walk them. Your move, Yugi boy. One ninja, please. Rats, never lucky. Alright, so we're gonna, like, pillar our Silver Fur Master. Did your second Phoenix. I assume these are hanging out on defense, right? Okay, so... we attack with everything. Do this. We draw 4 cards. We put them to 2. Ornithopter goes into play. It's only their second spell, right? So we'll get to Fatal Push this. And then Sailor is lethal. So it's not the fall that kills the bird, chat. It's the initial hit to the chest is the flavor you have to savor to understand where Fatal Push is coming from. Very weak Sternoms, yeah, exactly. Okay, so I think this, so like, that last game kind of showed how, like, we Thoughtseize them and, like, all of their cards are things we could kind of take. I think I want to cut these 6 interactive bits and just bring in the Leylines of the Void. And I think Dive Down is good here. It's either Dive Down or Infernal Grasp. What do we think? Do we want Protection / Combat Trick? Or do I want extra ways to Doomblade Ledger Shredder? We have, keep in mind, we do have 4 Fatal Pushes in the main deck. I feel like I could go either way. Maybe it's on the draw, I want more removal. On the play, I want more prevention. Let's do that. I'm gonna play the extra Doomblades on the draw here. If we end up going to a game 3, we'll try the other one. Yeah, Shredder's the card I care about killing, Steric. Okay, so I think we just make a 4/4 on one, right? Yeah, so I was actually gonna do Alchemy first today, and then I saw on my Twitter feed that there was a balance patch coming, so I was like, okay, I guess we will do Alchemy second after the patch drops. So I've got a bad blue-red tempo deck that Holy Diva posted that looked kind of sweet, and we wanted to play into a Storm deck, so that sounds great. So Retrofitter Foundry is to sacrifice a Thopter, get a 4/4. So we're building our own hollow one here. Don't Fading Hope me, Daddy. Don't do it. Have a heart. We are playing Snap today, yeah. Yeah, Runeterra is on the Twitch bounty board for the 4th time in the last month, and I've been enjoying our pokes into that for sponsored stuff, so I'm gonna take a few dollars to do a little bit of that, but we're gonna do Snap at the very end. So we're gonna do 2 magic decks, an hour of Runeterra, and then a couple hours of Snap. Is this patch going to break the client like the last one? Who knows? Maybe it'll be another Thursday where we play ninjas and then we do 1 magic deck and then we play Runeterra and Snap. That's actually exactly what we did last Thursday, right? The patch broke the ability to log in, so we just started Runeterra early. We'll see, huh? Hopefully not, but also Magic Arena. Why BlueStacks refuses to install and crashes on Mac. You should, something that enables at, something that you need to enable at the hardware level sometimes is your BIOS will have an extra thing to enable for hardware virtualization that a VM like BlueStacks runs poorly without. Something to check it, make sure you have toggled. Can't most modern Macs install iOS applications though? I thought that was a thing. Oh, only the M1 chips. Okay. Think we're just tapped land activating Retrofitter Foundry here, huh? Morning, Logan. Couldn't I have ninja'd the abraded one? You might be right, chat. I'm gonna be honest, chat. I just assumed my opponent abraded during the proper timing window. If my opponent would have abraded during the declare attacker step before blockers get a chance to happen, I could not ninjutsu it. But if they abraded at the improper timing window, I could have, yes, and I missed it. So let's just pretend my opponent made the correct play and that I didn't have an opportunity to make a mistake. I wouldn't want you to think our deck is stronger than it is, chat, so we'll assume our opponent's making proper plays. Yeah, you just log in with your Nintendo account, Braveheart, if you started on Switch. What's going on, Wiener? Thanks for the 13 months. Welcome back. You ever find a reasonable Goyf deck? Yeah, the both Teamer and Jund Goyf were pretty reasonable. Believe it or not, Fable of the Mirror Breaker seems like the cracked card to be playing with Tarmogoyf in Historic. Busted Enchantment, who'da thunk it? I fly out of O'Hare at 9:15 on the night of the 15th. So I'll be doing a short-ish stream Monday morning. My plan is I'm going to be live today, tomorrow, Saturday. I'm going to take Sunday off to help Christy get everything in order so we're good to leave for a week. And then Monday I'm going to go live for 3 or 4 hours in the morning. We'll do a couple of Magic decks and then I'm off. Because we're gonna drive up to O'Hare rather than dealing with connecting flights. Normally, this is the part where I'd look at their hand and admit that we're the bad guy in this situation, but we're also playing ninjas, so I'm not sure if that's actually true. I've been told from people that air conditioning is not common in the UK. Is that true of UK hotels as well, or do they typically have AC? The hotels will definitely have air conditioning. Okay. Cool. Where am I staying? I think we're staying at a hotel connected to the convention center. And it's like a 2,000 person convention center, so I have to imagine it's one of the more reasonable ones. Long as you aren't staying at the UK equivalent of a Super 8. LOL. And then fun fact here, chat. Ninjutsuing something back to your hand triggers Revolt. So we can go ahead and Fatal Push their familiar now. To sacrifice a creature? Oh no, not my Ornithopter. Have you tried Collector in this? Well, they just nerfed the Collector, so I didn't really want to play him. When I was traveling to play in a lot of Magic the Gathering tournaments as a broke grad student and then a broke just finished grad school but didn't have an actual job person, our Magic groups quite frequently stayed in what we referred to as the luxurious La Quinta Inn and Suites. And just to make sure I convey that this is not an advertisement for the luxurious La Quinta Inn and Suites, I kid you not, at one point we rented one of these rooms and there were like blood stains in the bathroom. Just like, yeah, there was almost assuredly someone murdered here. We can discard this extra Watery Grave. Could have been beats. It could have been something. I think my favorite hotel that we would stay in is there's a hotel in Columbus, Ohio that used to be an insane asylum. Or some type of place where they like locked people up. Maybe not an insane asylum, but it was definitely some type of place where like there were like security doors and extra stuff that they could lock in to close off certain areas. It was fun. Yeah, I agree it was fun. Also one of the cheapest hotels in the area, believe it or not. At some point, this Spell Pierce is going to tag this Torment to Hailfire, and it will be lovely. Yeah. Ingenious Infiltrator really is a cracked card, chat. It's so powerful. I think I'm chilling on playing this out because if they have like a 4-mana sweeper, I can't Spell Pierce it at this point. I don't really know what our opponent is doing. They're just like playing mono black cards they like. Guess we'll board in these hermits. I have a lot of Death Touch Dorkos too. I'm curious, Chad. This is a very unscientific poll, and I'm not letting you pay to vote extra. I just want 1 vote per person. Do you think we'll be able to log into Arena after the client patch this morning? I'm curious to see what level of faith Hoaglandia has in Thoughtseize ability. I'm an optimist. I think I was gonna discard 2 cards here. Where do I vote? Can log in but can't play games. I mean, I think we just discard down this low, right? Because I'm about to draw 4 cards. Like, oh no, you made me discard 4 cards. How will we ever recover from this immense detriment? What's it like to live rent-free in so many heads? It's nice to know that I have security if something ever happens that I lose my current home, Danny. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even think that tweet would really be problematic, but I should have realized that a bunch of paper boomers were gonna take offense to it. I think the thing that was most surprising to me was the fact that so many people were like, it's so nice to have a place where we can watch old Pro Tour and GP coverage. It's like, did you people not realize you could have been watching this stuff on YouTube for like the last 4 or 5 years anytime you wanted, playing and pausing it whenever you needed to walk out of the room? Like, did you not realize that was an option? Like, what was the thought process here that you needed someone to like stream it on Twitch for you? "21st century is very confusing." Yep, I miss having no control over my television programming, right? Look at that with a perfect. Oh my gosh! I clicked out and the poll disappeared. Sedge. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. I was so sad about my poll. I clicked through that. Oh my gosh, we're playing a Mire. That's hilarious, actually. Yeah, that's probably exactly the case, honestly, Ox. Well, that was a good top deck. I'm not sure we beat the Retrofitter Foundry off the top. Honestly, Socio, I almost feel like Twitter should consider paying me because I generate a lot of new account creation. I feel like they should employ me. So they can make a 4/4 next turn. Seabassing Weary, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. I feel like this is a couple of counter spells out, couple of Doomblades in matchup. I think we keep the Thoughtseizes for a little proactive disruption. Call it a day. Maybe I want Dive Down to protect my things, but I don't really have anything that I necessarily want to cut for that. Do people make new accounts to tweet at you after you block them? Of course they do, Duck Doolittle. Of course people make new accounts to tweet at me again after I block their main one. These people are desperate for a little bit of human social interaction. They probably haven't felt the touch of grass, much less the touch of another human being in recent memory. I think my absolutely favorite Twitter shitter interaction is when there's an account that has like 10, 50, or maybe even 100 followers that post something like, "Who does Jeff even tweet to? He blocks everybody." And it's like, you idiot. There are literally 16,000 followers on my account. If my 16,000 followers isn't tweeting to anybody, why are you pounding your face into your keyboard for your 7 followers? But then again, if they were capable of comprehending those basic functions of how numbers and stats work, they probably wouldn't have made it to my block list in the first place. I don't go outside often. The graphics are nice, but the main story has been... I'm gonna remember that one, Doru. That's a fantastic line. That is an A plus line. I feel like the 2020, like 2016 on, the story arc for IRL has gotten a little off the rails. It's very unbelievable. I feel like the writers need to dial it back a little bit. They're clearly been running out of ideas. The Mayans were right. The world actually did end in 2012. Oh, we're just running on borrowed time too. Oh yeah, IRL definitely has bad ratings in the App Store for being pay to win. That's 100% the case. Yeah, exactly, Barnacle. Like, if I was attention seeking, I'd be doing the opposite of blocking people, right? Like, people engaging with me is giving attention. If I wanted attention, I would explicitly not use that feature. Okay, I guess we do this, and then we Thoughtseize, and then we Fatal Push. I guess I could have played 2 threats out. They have a Fatal Push of their own. I think I'm just taking that because they can trigger Revolt at will with the Retrofitter Foundry. Marsh is interesting. These Drowned Catacombs have felt real mediocre in this deck. Kind of feel like these are probably better. Well, for people that are new or don't use Twitter a lot, you have to understand that there's a subsection of the Magic the Gathering community that, one, doesn't really play Magic anymore. They just like to complain about Magic and things surrounding it. And 2, are really upset that they got banned on this channel or timed out at one point in a past life. So they get really salty and bitter whenever I bring up anything. So, like, even if I post something that someone else would be reasonable to bring up, they get really mad because I'm the one that posted it. Like, I kid you not, if you've never scrolled one of these threads before, it's literally just piles of mostly 30-something white dudes commiserating the fact that, yeah, I got blocked on Twitter by Jeff Hoagland. It's a big deal. It's a big staple star monument in their life. I'm giving their life purpose and meaning, chat. I would love Dark Slick Shores. Can I have Dark Slick Shores, please? A draw. There's a bunch of draws that make keeping these in the opener really good. Huh? Okay, I think we take the Changeling Outcast. And then Ornithopter blocks this, and the rest of their hand doesn't accomplish much. Remember when Twitter was a better RSS feed than a town square? I mean, Twitter is like any kind of tool, right? Like, Twitter is what you make of it. And you could definitely curate your feed and have it be an RSS feed. It can still serve that function for sure. I think I just Fatal Push their Hope here. And then we just like... Oh! That thing's a Thopter as well. How did I miss that this is a Thopter? I think Ninjas is a real deck in this format, yeah. I mean, I don't know about best deck, but I think this is competitive. We played into a couple of different things so far this morning, and we felt very reasonable into almost all of them. You saying ninjas are sneakily good? Yes. Definitely that. Yeah, I think Collector's still great, Penguin. For sure. Oh my god, I just clicked through playing my land. I was expecting another stop there. I'm fine with that trade. Mana is fake, something like that. They'll block, and then they'll turn this into a flying one. Or they're debating just trading? You have a Fatal Push for my 4/4 here? No, huh? Weird. Yeah, I mean, Retrofitter, like, reads like a very grindy card, right? Why would you let me untap? I can pay 1 and sacrifice this to upgrade it to a flyer, and then I can pay 3 to untap it and make a 4/4. Trading Post was such a fun standard card. I remember that one. Speaking of fun, Historic's kind of in a good spot right now, huh? Definitely one of the better places the format has been in a long time. It's crazy what's possible in these digital formats when they get up off their ass and actually make necessary balance changes. So I'm so glad they finally, they finally nerfed Cat Oven and they nerfed Phoenix. They fixed Unholy Heat and Cauldron Familiar. Like, the format was so bad for so long because they refused to do anything, and they finally addressed the two biggest problems. And, like, it's so great. What's going on, Rose? Thanks for the almost year and a half. Welcome back. Appreciate it. Obviously, we got, like, a couple of anthologies to spice things up, too, but even without those, right? You played anybody with a mythic percentage yet? I don't think so. We're still early-ish in the... We're not even halfway through the month yet. Well, our hand here is not the super proactive start we want against blue-white control, unfortunately. What's going on, Some Beach? Thanks for the 14 months. Welcome back. Honestly, we're probably going to concede this game relatively soon. We've got Fatal Push in hand, and the rest of our draw is bad. We do at least get to counter the Divine Purge, I suppose, he says before getting main deck Mystic Disputed. Spell Pierce in their control deck. Sure. The brutal part here is if I ninjutsu these back to my hand, I still have to pay 2 to recast them. Which is big rough. Go on, Demolisher. Thanks for the 32 months. Welcome back. Yeah. That'll be enough for now, I think. So, some Hermits, and some Dive Downs, and some Spell Pierces. All of these Fatal Pushes come out here, obviously. Thoughtseizes are good. Gosh, what else do we trim? Oh, I forgot that Casualty makes a copy of it. It's a cast trigger. Yeah. Totally could have sacked an Ornithopter to play around their Spell Pierce. That's a good shout out for the future. I appreciate it. I feel like I'm supposed to trim some of the Ornithopters because making these aggressively isn't very good here because they're a March deck. Trim Silver for Master, actually. I don't know. Could go either way. Let's split the difference, trim around the edges. Oh, casualty needs power. Yeah, that's true. It might have still been right to sacrifice one of my 1 power things, though. But yeah, it couldn't have been the Ornithopter. Because they shocked in there, so obviously they had something. I just make a thing with this turn. We'll play Silver for Master and we can hold up the dive down. Yep. And this is a big part of why these blue-white decks are so good, is because not only do they get to play incredibly interactive bits, but they're also just Tron. They also just, like, get to ramp a whole bunch for very little cost. You know, I don't know how we ever win this matchup. I'm just gonna go ahead and concede because I just don't have fun playing it. Probably not 0%, but I'm definitely 0% to have a good time here. So rather than sitting here and be frustrated while playing Magic, I'm just gonna go ahead and move on. Yeah, the fact that Divine Purge gets to take my my Foundry with it is pretty offensive. Well, we drew the Fatal Push for the Rahilda here, and there's a Dorko to pick back up with our Ingenious Infiltrator, so not bad. Oh, I let their Dorko flip. That's whatever. Need to recast to avoid flipping the world? I don't think it really matters. Just 1 more damage. Flipped here anyways. Draw a couple of cards, shit. My opponent did nothing this turn. Show me all secrets. Oh, they're a Jund deck. Everything makes so much more sense now. We just Fatal Push this, huh? Because I ninjutsu'd, so we have Revolt. This is asking me, am I sure? Because I have to discard a card. I am. Discarding a card? How will we ever recover from this immense card disadvantage, chat? Okay, so against decks like this, you generally speaking want to board down on your counter spells and discard spells. You want to board up on effects that play to the board. So I think Grasp is good here. Maybe Gust is good here. Dive Down is definitely good here. It's a clean 6 for 6. Maybe I want a second Gust. They're Tarmogoyfs and Chandras. I guess they have Gargoth too. Yeah, I probably want all the Gust. Let's do 2/2/2. 2 Dive Down, 2 Gust, 2 Grasp. Looking like it might be a game 3 on the play angle. Okay. This hand's not terrible. I don't think fast 4/4 is good in this matchup. Let's do this, I think. Have an Ninjutsu enabler. These are a few of my favorite things. So if they don't kill Ornithopter, our best draw next turn is the ninja that draws cards here, obviously. Let's put the fear and ninjutsu in them there for a moment. Changeling Outcast means if we draw the other the ninja next turn that we were talking about, we get to draw 2 cards, so not all bad. You have Maelstrom Pulsed, my 1/1. Yeah. The balance changes coming today can't possibly make the formats worse, Copium. Ninja. Holy crap, chat. That was the best draw in our deck and it's not close. Maybe a second Infiltrator was better, but this is still pretty good. Alright, they don't have a sweeper next turn. This game is very over. Oh. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, eh? I'd like to get rid of that one, please. Cute Fable. Crack you for 8, get 2 more 3/1s, draw 3 cards. I'm pretty sure this deck is real, chat. It feels, it ticks most of the boxes I think you want to tick in this format. We mulliganed to, that was the mulligan to 5 game 2, right? Yeah, that was game 2. That was the mulligan to 5. Game. Scrappy creatures that care about combat and generate card advantage, chat. It's actually just everything I love. Oh, opponent's playing the deck they're about to ban. Maybe, I guess I could just be playing goblins too. Let's find out. Nope. This card's about to be errated. Shit. They're gonna ban this one, effectively. So in the upcoming balance patch later this morning, Racketeer Boss will now lose the modified text off of itself. Off of the card it puts it on after it's cast. I'll make it a 4/4 here. Hey, thanks for the 39 months, Toast Smasher. Appreciate it. Yeah, I agree on no tiers. Solidly necessary and good change. Revels, they just made it harder to cast, right? The rest of the text stayed the same, or did I miss something? The Revels change basically means it's no longer free inside of, means it's no longer free, like, inside of, like, the Angels deck, which I think is a good thing. You basically have to be committing to that color instead of just splashing it arbitrarily. Alright, we could die next turn, but we're gonna try and take him down. Like, the base white deck trying to play white cards, for example, will have a harder time playing it, which is good. Okay, and we've died. I'm gonna just go ahead and concede the rest of this match here, because the opponent's deck isn't gonna be relevant in like 45 minutes, so I don't really care how the matchup feels. I also don't care about our ladder rank. We just happen to be top 200 right now because we've had a good streak. Not a matchup that matters, soon to be. I'll never really. It's silly to judge people based on the types of decks that they like. One of the things that's appealing to about Magic as a game is that it offers lots of different playstyles that appeal to lots of different people. Like, if you're a sociopath, there's blue-white control. You know? A little bit of something for everyone. Start Thoughtseize here. Elves, eh? Burn is good, honest Magic, chat. Formats where burn decks tend to be playable tend to be some of Magic's best formats. I believe we have died, chat. I believe we have died. Okay. Aether Gust and Infernal Grasp. Spell Pierce, Make Disappear, and probably just a couple of Thoughtseizes out, huh? Mono Red is pretty good at Historic. I mean, we technically don't know anything that's good at Historic at the moment because we haven't had any tournaments or big things where competitive players have been compelled to like optimize. So the 3 years, Kenobi, welcome back. Yeah, it's funny. Actually, I went to look for deck lists the other day, and like there hadn't been a historic tournament with more than 10 players on it in MTG Melee in like a month. It was very, very sad to go look at and see that the tournament scene is just like completely flopped and dead. It'll be interesting to see where the return of Pro Tour style is an Hoaglandia Open House. And if anything, it's my decision to not run Hoaglandia Opens is kind of the correct one because there doesn't seem to be any interest in tournament Magic. It's kind of the opposite. I'd rather kill the Imperious Perfect than the War Master here, but it's close. It'll be interesting to see if whatever the Pro Tour-esque replacement is generates some interest again, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if, like, the organic interest in tournament stuff on the Twitch aspect of it is never going to recover. Magic as a whole on Twitch has gotten consistently less popular year after year. And these are all public stats. We were talking about this in the subs Discord server the other day, so I have them offhand. In 2020, Twitch as a platform saw a 70% increase in viewership. The Magic category specifically on Twitch saw a 10% decrease in viewership. Similarly, in 2021, Twitch as a whole, as a platform, saw a 30% increase in viewership over 2020. Magic saw another 15% reduction. So, at a point in time where, like, Twitch is more popular than ever, Magic as a part of Twitch is less popular than it was during its peak. There's a very good chance that 2018, 2019 will just, like, forever be the peak of Magic on Twitch. And that makes sense when you think about it, right? Like, that was the release of Magic Arena. I think we're super dead here, chat. Our tribal matchup does not seem particularly good here. We could draw a bunch of cards here. We're just like a day late and $1 short. I'd like to nip something in the bud that's happening in my chat right now because it's like pretty sexist, honestly. The shitting on hot tub streams or whatever you want to call them, and the idea that women have an easier time on Twitch and have more viewership just because they're women is just like statistically not true. Most of the largest streamers on this platform are men, and the industry as a whole is dominated by male personalities overall by viewer metrics and raw number of streamers. And it's both sexist and ignorant of reality to imply otherwise. So don't do it, my spaces. Maybe we should give the client a kick here so we can have some audio. Yes, that is also the case as well. As is the case with most parts in life, women on Twitch as a platform and live stream platforms deal with an incredibly increased amount of harassment compared to their male counterparts. Love to put a ninja into play and draw a card. It's sad, it's sad that like what I just said there is even considered like a view on a topic, right? Like I don't look at that and think like this. I don't even view that as a this is a view on the subject, right? It's just like look at the metrics that exist. And this is just the objective reality that we live in. That's part of the problem, right? Like we debate reality in 2022. I reject your reality and substitute my own. Ooh. Outsized here very quickly. Even if we peel a Fatal Push at this point, they're just so wide. Me tapping out for Silver Fur Master was wrong. Feeling kind of dead. Bonus deck looks sweet. Blue-green artifacts, probably some scissors running around in there. Never beating the Shadow Spear. Wadakas, thank you for the 45 months. Welcome back. Appreciate it. Another matchup where I almost feel like I want a couple more Doomblades in my 75. I definitely feel like if I had the option, I would board up past 6 pieces of removal in a lot of these games. To play first, thank you for asking. Okay. Not quite an Ornithopter, but I'll do in a pinch. Okay, Vast, thanks for the 2.5 years. Welcome back. So we talked about this earlier. if Elves was specifically a deck I wanted to sideboard against, something like Witch's Vengeance or a Sweeper would be great. However, as we just talked about, there aren't really established historic metagames. And if you said, Jeff, is Elves a deck you're supposed to prepare for in this format? I would tell you probably not. It doesn't mean you're not going to play against it, but, you know, non-rotating formats in Magic, especially like Historic, that have deep card pools and lots of people playing lots of different things, regardless of how competitive they are, you're going to run into things that, even though it's correct not to prepare for them generally, it's just going to happen. There's a lot of matchup variance in these formats. Wait on killing the automaton. I think we smack them for 2 here, and then I'm gonna play triple 1-drop this turn. We'll go Thoughtseize, Outcast, Spectral Sailor. And take their Thought Monitor away. I'm gonna take their Thought Monitor away. Hey, Grey Ghost, thanks for the Prime. Appreciate the support. Wouldn't be able to be here without folks like you. Okay, so we'll need to... I was trying to decide what I wanted to sequence next turn. I think with the extra artifact drawn and this automaton going to a 3/3, I need to Fatal Push, so that way I can connect with my Infiltrator. I also want to play the untapped land here, so this way if I draw a 1-mana black spell with my 2 draws during combat, I can cast it post-combat. Our friend is unblockable. Crack you for 4, draw 2 cards. They get to play a Karn here. A Karnstruct would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 is probably their play. Yep, keeps my ninja at bay. We're attacking. Okay, deal. So we just draw 40 cards here, right? Yes. Yes. Ninja. This is pretty unlucky. We have to discard the hand size here. I just don't think Crippling Fear is very good. Like, look at the decks that play in this format. It's just not good against most of them. Like, I know we just got done playing against Elves, so people are hyper focused on Elves, but all of the bad Black Sweepers people are suggesting are definitely good against Elves. I don't like them against the format generically. Hey, thanks for the compliment, Obi-Wan. I'm glad to have you here. Thanks for keeping me here. It's been a fun trip. This job's got some downs, like dealing with Twitter shitters, but it's got a lot of ups too. Overall, I genuinely enjoy it. Yes, I think if you're playing best of 1 historic, considering Elves is very reasonable there, because that linear deck is more popular in that format. It's never really been a player in best of 3. Yeah, that's been my experience. Angels is the most prevalent tribal deck in Historic, even in best of 3. And all of the -2 and -3 sweepers people are suggesting fall really short against Angels. They're just not great there. Yeah, I got you, Endo. What am I bottoming here? Was it Silver Fur Master? Might be Silver Fur Master. You know, we should try Merfolk again. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. I haven't tried Merfolk since they nerfed a couple of things. That deck felt like it was close. Well, they're a Foundry deck as well. Interesting. Well, that was easily one of our best draws, and I wish I would have bottomed the Spectral Sailor now, but we obviously couldn't know that was coming up. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, I guess we gotta take that one, huh? A lot of 1-mana spells, Chip. Hey, Ben, thanks for the 2 years. Oh, for fuck's sake. If that's not the peak Magic the Gathering experience, shit, I don't know what is. Really regret keeping Spectral Sailor now, huh? Oh, I guess I can Soaring City this at some point and then play a bunch of ones out afterwards, huh? Real shame we didn't draw another ninja there to get any amount of velocity going. That's just good deck building right there, chat. Just really solid, good deck building. So I think we Soaring City the Chalice of the Void here so we can play these next turn. It's close though. Because, like, I kind of wanted to attack Karn with my Hive. We're probably dead here. Probably dead here. It was unfortunate that we kept 3 lands in Spectral Sailor and then we just flooded out. If I'd have been greedier, and bottomed our 3rd land, we probably win this game with enough cards from the Ingenious Infiltrator filtering through on a 2nd ninja. I could have generated enough stuff for that. The 2nd chalice was on 0 to stop our ability to Ornithopter. They said they were going to be entering maintenance mode soon, so we'll get 1 or 2 more matches in with Ninja, and then we'll find out if we'll be able to log in after this patch. Assuming Magic Arena cooperates, we're going to check out some Alchemy with a blue-red tempo deck. after the changes go live and the Storm deck is nerfed out of the format. And then after our second Magic deck, we're going to have a sponsored segment for a little bit of Rune Terror for a little while. We're going to play some Echo Zillion today, I think. Then we're going to wrap up with some Marvel Snap. What's going on in the one, James? I don't think I can keep this, right? Just like no cheap enabler to start. Yeah, but I think I just have so many dead draws in my deck at that point, Endo, that it just doesn't matter and I'm not coming back in. No, I think there's a chance the tempo deck is good, so it's not playing Delver. I know I called it a bad tempo deck, but I think there's a chance it's fine. Is this the same person we just played against or someone else? Anybody catch what the username was in the previous match? The same person. I don't really want to play against the same deck for 2 matches in a row. So I'm gonna skip this. Apologies to anybody that's annoyed by me conceding, but I don't really. I would like to play against something different. See how our deck fares into a different range of stuff in the format. It surprises me how many card games, and this is not just an arena problem, like it's an issue in Marvel Snap too, and almost every other card game I've played. It surprises me how many card games allow repairs when you're playing ladder matches. Like I feel like most people are like, no, I'd rather not play the same person twice in a row regardless given the option. Like please just let me sit in queue longer rather than hit the same person 2 matches in a row. I think that's a pretty shit take, though. Like, we've had a ton of games today where our deck's been really reasonable and powerful, and you just, like, come in here at the very end where we hit a couple of bad matchups in a row and, like, are dumping on our deck because you didn't actually watch anything. Like, do you think turn 2 Nettle Cyst is the average draw out of our opponent's deck? Or do you think they're running a little hot while we're not? Like those are the types of questions you need to ask yourself when evaluating things, right? Like this is almost assuredly in like the upper percentile of draws their deck is capable of, right? I mean, you literally just came in and said our deck seems to come up short a lot of the time. That's literally dumping on her. I don't know how you could describe that sentence as anything other than dumping on what we're doing. What does that sentence mean if not to detract from what we're playing? Like how what's the other more charitable interpretation of that? Help me out. Like here, right? Like I had a 1-lander into a 3-lander with no second color. Like you got to remember, Magic's just a game where you just effectively don't get to play in a significant portion of the games that you queue up for, which is why it's important when you're playing something, if you're really trying to get a feel for it, your sample size has to be huge to really have an educated feel for what's going on in things. The number of people that just like play 2.5 games with a deck are like, nah, I'm off it. It's just like, all right, sure, you do you. to kill your 4/4 before I could trade with mine. Definitely not bouncing our 4/4 to Infiltrator. We'll play a tap land and then we'll make a 1/1 for ourselves here. I mean, half the best of threes you just watched were me saying I don't want to replay the same match and then bouncing out of it, or me deciding I don't have fun playing against blue-white control and bouncing out of it. So again, just like context, context, context. Oh, Psy makes Thopters too. Huh. It's pretty good. I don't know that we overpower this, huh? Our deck definitely doesn't seem good into this bigger Retrofitter Foundry deck, right? Master Thopters makes up. It does. It's strange. Weird interaction. Yeah, Retrofitter seems like a playable card if we put our fingers in our ears and ignore the fact that Divine Purge exists in the format. if we all collectively agree that Divine Purge doesn't exist, I agree the Thopter card seems great. Which I would like to let the record reflect. I am all for putting my fingers in my ears. All for it, champ. If I pretend it doesn't exist, it can't hurt me, right? Right? Speaking of Divine Purge, is that what's about to happen to us here? Certainly feeling that way. Okay. Purge me, daddy. Excuse me? Okay, so probably not blue-white, but still something controlling it looks like, so could be a Divine Purge deck. Yeah, maybe we got a mono-white control deck. Okay. Okay, this could enable a splash. They could have a second color here. I was gonna make some more power here. Let's try and get this game over with. Down to 2 to draw a card. Something that's to play this back out at end of turn. All right, so we get the +1/+1 ninja. They die. Rats. Look at this card, and then look at Farewell, and just like compare them for a minute, right? You're like, one of these things is much better than the other. Eight, they're up to 4 here. Means our infiltrator is the old lethal seer. Ninja! Shisha. Hit him with the pocket sand here. A couple more spell pierces on the board, and a couple of hermits, which are nice. Do I want Fatal Push in the post-board matchups here? Genuinely don't know. Killing Strict Proctor seems kind of important, right? It blocks our board kind of profitably. Go down to 3. Let's trim around the edges here a little bit. Sorry, what? Did they sideboard into something else, chat? All right, so do they have like a fateful absence here? Do we miss the onboard trick? We missed the onboard trick. Okay. Good. I think I'm supposed to play the other outcast there, actually. The case. Well, I was gonna say this is our last one before we roll into alchemy, but let's do one more if they haven't turned off matchmaking yet. Maybe we're secretly playing Ruined Terra already and we were supposed to change decks. Oopsie poopsie. Of weird ones. Rhino's been working on self-mill decks, I believe. We'll see what they're doing here, though. We're just doing this. Been a pretty solid morning, Wargy. We're at the almost at the end of our first deck. This one's it's far exceeded expectations. We played against this ninja deck on the ladder a few times. It's been good today. Okay. I wonder if they're playing scissors. A cheap artifact ward creature like this would be decent into scissors. Or decent with scissors, I should say. Small sequencing mistake on their part there. But the push probably missed that this was a, what's it called for the Foundry? It's just better to play the Lord without ninjutsu after Outcast on 1. Yeah, it's probably true. It gives your boards, because it's the same mana cost. It's weird that the ninjutsu cost and the mana costs are the same. That's a good one to shout out. Usually ninjutsu's a discount. But on Ogo, thanks for the over 2 years. Yeah, I'm aware it gives the Outcast 1/1. In my brain, the shortcut is ninjutsu is cheaper mana wise than casting a card, or you get some kind of added effect, but this one doesn't do either of those things. It's not really relevant. Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about Thoughtseize versus Dive down here. I'm not really sure what their deck is doing, so I think I'm going to hedge Thoughtseize for now. Might readjust that slot for game 3 if we have one. Just downloaded the patch and now I can't sign in. Well, we'll find out if it's just you or not here in a minute. Incidentally, having cards that are Thopters feels like cheating with Retrofitter Foundry. Just big and for my next Strick energy. Well, shit. Wait, this is lethal, right? Yeah. Almost thought we were gonna get in trouble there for pressuring instead of Infernal Grasp being their thing, but snuck it out. Take, kill them. Rhino, when you come back to the stream, I'm just dumb, I promise. Let's see if we're right. We can grab one more before it locks us out of matchups. I'm addicted to ninjaing, chat. Let's see if we get. We might not be able to get a match here. It said Matchmaker was going to turn off in 10 minutes, like 6 minutes ago. So people might be updated already. We'll give it 90 seconds. If we get a match in 90 seconds, we'll play one more. Otherwise, we'll wrap and download the update and find if we can log in or not. It's really sad how just like almost every facet of Magic Arena has just gotten worse progressively as the client has aged. Just like updates used to roll out so smoothly, so consistently, and like for the last 2 or 3 months now, just every Thursday they update has just been a total crap show. All right, I guess we're not finding another match. So, some closing thoughts on this. One, I was really impressed with the core of this deck. Changeling Outcast and Ornithopter enabling both the Retrofitter Foundry as well as the ninjas felt really clean and interesting. The one thing I'm really not sure on after playing this deck is the total amount of removal in the 75. Like, the control matchup felt kind of bad into Divine Purge even with all of this crap in the sideboard, so I almost feel like I'd rather punt that matchup a little bit and just like be better into the various creature decks in the format. Like, I feel like in an ideal world against creature decks, I'd be able to turn most of this into some amount of removal spells, or like 2 dive downs and 4 removal spells as combat tricks. So like, I think I want at least like 2 more pieces of spot removal in the sideboard. I don't know what is ideal in terms of which bits of spot removal, but just 2 more of something, I think. Whether it's like Ray of Enfeeblement or Heartless Act or just something, I think would be my core comment to swap out. I think my other comment would be, I'm not sure that Drowned Catacombs is better than the slow lands. What do we want Leyline for? Phoenix is still a deck in this format. I guess that's a good question. Maybe we don't need Leyline. If you play a different piece of Graveyard Hate like Lantern, you don't need to play 4 of them because you can draw them after the fact and have them be fine. I could see that being a way you get some graveyards, you get some slots back as well. You don't necessarily play 4 pieces of Graveyard Hate and then you don't have to play Leyline of the Void. That could also be fine. Maybe you trim like a dive down and then 1 of these, and then you play 3 other Graveyard Hate pieces, and then that gets your 2 removal spells on the board. All right, chat.